the celebration continue. How you guys doing out there tonight?
Hi!
I have to say huge thank yous to everybody here. Gypsy Love is a dear friend of mine. She was in Cafe 4, God knows, a year or two ago, looking beautiful, having a cup of tea, looking magical, and somehow we met, and she said something like, "Oh, I sing, oh, I belly dance," and I thought, oh, that's cool. And she was intrigued by a friend of mine, Garza, who many of you know, who is a performer, fundraiser, activist, drag queen. And I introduced the two of them, and it's been magic ever since, because Gypsy is all about giving, unconditional love, and her beautiful talent in songwriting, singing, astrology, very talented, and it was like magic. She's performed at Cafe Floor probably 50 times since I've met her, and all over the city, on Pride stages, and anywhere she's invited she goes, and she has a heart of gold. And for this new year, I want to tell you that in the fall, I was watching the news every day, as I always do. I work from home mostly, and I just feel like the media is saturated with negative news. It's on automatic pilot over and over again, sensationalizing the worst of humanity over and over again. And in reality, if they would show you the positive things that are happening around the world, where somebody drops something and somebody picks it up, or somebody's house burns and the neighbors pitch in to rebuild it for them. There's so many positive things. I can tell you that if the media captured everything humans were doing around the world, the evening news would be like this, and it would be over. And all the positive news would dominate 23 hours and 59 minutes of your day. That's the reality of the world. But in America, it's a consumeristic society. We're dominated by the media. And I was looking at what was happening, people fearful of 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar, and it reminded me of the year 2000, like Y2K, all this fear about the world's coming to an end, like who started that rumor, you know? I think, well, you know, Sister Dana, my Mardi Gras club, we're like, let's all drink for 1 year, 1999, and party like it's 1999, you know, it's going to end, let's go out with a bang, right, so to speak. So, that didn't happen. You know, January 1st, 2000, things continued, everybody got up, either had a hangover, a cup of coffee, or, you know, got on the phone, on the computer. So I think the Mayan calendar, good for them, the Mayans. They had their calendar, and everything's made up. We're living in a linear time frame. Our own calendars changed through humanity. There's nothing to fear about 2012. And I want to thank Gypsy, because the stars, they don't change a lot. So Gypsy gave you some great advice and astrological positive energy, and I love astrology. I'm a Pisces, we're like the last sign, we're closest to the other world, we're big drinkers, and you know, we're into the occult and all that kind of fun shit. And Gypsy actually has the same birthday, February 23rd, so it's no wonder. Fish like to swim together. So here we are creating this event. And what this event was, a few years ago, I felt like the shit hit the fan. I think George Bush was in office, hello, and everybody was like so down, like, oh my god, you know, fucking world sucks, and nothing's good, the economy sucks, and at that time I just thought, you know, that's not my belief, and I'm surrounded by people like the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, the Mardi Gras Club, Patrick from Stoli, the staff at Trigger. They're throwing parties here 7 nights a week. If you're bored, come out, because there's always a good party here. Beautiful bartenders, great service, good cocktails. There's no reason to sit home and watch TV and be down and out. But a few years ago, I saw that happening, and I decided to throw a benefit at 2223 Restaurant, which just closed last week. New owners are taking over. But I didn't even know them. I just went in and said, I want to have a New Year's event where I invite people to have some champagne, mimosas, eat a great brunch. And I brought in Matt Garrigan, who was the founder of Radiant Light Ministries. It was called the Disco Church. It was here for 15 years out of Swedish American Hall, a block from here. And I was a member when I moved here in 1987, and it changed my life. I mean, I grew up Catholic in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Boo hiss. Steelers are out, Niners are in. Woohoo! And I remember at like age 6, there was someone in my neighborhood that was some kind of a minister, and his wife had this club called the Joy Club. Well, there were only like 6 kids in my neighborhood, you know. There's nothing to do, you know. So this minister's wife had this club called the Joy Club. And joy stood for Jesus comes first, others come second, and you come last. So I went to that little club every week with my other 5 buddies, And we sat around playing whatever games, and I got brainwashed thinking, good, Jesus comes first, others come second, my happy ass comes last. So I lived with that belief as a Catholic for a long time, went to Catholic school through grade 5, got out of it, woo!
Wow.
Grade 6 was fabulous. There's a hot guy named Greg I had the hots for, you know? I don't know where he is. Greg Zupansky, call me. Anyhow, I ended up back in college at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, which is a Catholic university. There I was again. Well, I was like a rebel. I had the gayest roommate in the fucking planet. There were 6,390 students, and I got this queen from Long Branch, New Jersey that was studying nursing that had more swish than RuPaul. And I was like, I was so forced out of that closet. I mean, everybody saw us as roommates and thought we were like boyfriends or something, and I was just like, oh my God, like just stop doing that and stop hissing so much, you know. But God love him, Michael Fornicola, his mother Carol still living. Michael's one of those friends that had HIV, and somehow in his fear he committed suicide. So God love him. I think his spirit's with me today because he doesn't come through that often, but his name just is. So I think he's here supporting me. Yeah. But that Catholic thing, I got to tell you, the world is exactly backwards, and that's why I'm here. I thought that brunch was so successful. We sold out 22, 23.
There it goes. There it goes.
Check. We sold out 2223 restaurant. Matt Garrigan delivered this keynote speech that sent everybody out on a cloud, really just negating all the negative bullshit that was going on with George Bush, and everybody left on such a high. And this fall, I felt like, here we are again. You know, everybody wants Obama out. All these Republican candidates are like a circus show, you know. I'm thinking, how could that happen? But I never thought Bush would get reelected, and that happened. So I'm like, pay attention, send some money to Obama, and get it together. But I thought, I'm going to do an event that makes things more positive. And I thought for a second, in my Stoli fog, I thought, this sounds really familiar. And I thought, shit, you did this a few years ago with George Bush. You had that brunch. So, to be honest, I went to Bijou Bistro across the street and asked the wonderful chef, Nick, if I could throw a brunch there, because they always donate to charity and they're super nice guys. And he said, you know, I would love to do it. Gypsy and I want to do it on January 8th, and he said, we're on vacation until the 9th. It's like, okay. So I thought, well, Gypsy, look at the astrology chart and look at the following week. And she said, the 8th is better. If we do it on the 15th, we can pull it off, but we're going to hit bumps in the road. Well, the bump in the road was the website didn't work for tickets. That was the bump. And I think, you know, there's a reason for everything, and that's okay, because Richmond Airmen AIDS Foundation throws huge parties, Help Is on the Way, every year, raising tens of thousands of dollars. They pull in the best entertainers they can get their hands on to squeeze money out of them for this agency that was founded by two mothers who lost their only sons to AIDS. And to be honest with you, Richmond Airmen has 3 websites: richmondairmen.org, helpisontheway.org, and reaf.org. As an event planner, I thought, pick the shortest name, it's easy to remember. Oddly, that short name's not compatible with the ticket sales. But I'm really happy that our event here today with you beautiful people let them know that that doesn't work. Because when they do big-ass things that raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, I want the websites to work. So give it up for Richmond Airmen and Al Schroeder in the box office. Gypsy and I always said, we're on the cutting edge. In a typical tea dance, everybody does ecstasy or something, drug of choice, and they're buying $5 bottles of water, and they're taking their shirt off, and they're just like mind-numbing dancing to boom, 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 boom. You know, and whatever they do, Donna Sachet, where are you? I don't know. She said Sunday's a drag. But, you know, this is not that kind of tea dance. I said, I want people to, like, feel their power. And it is very cutting edge. Who the hell gets up at 10 o'clock in the morning and says, I'm going to go to Trigger Nightclub and start drinking Stoli for an hour and eat food and hang out with the sisters and beautiful people and empower yourselves for the new year? But it doesn't matter. Gypsy and I said, if there's 5 people, the right 5 people will be here. And now we get to experience that. And what I'm here to tell you is, when I moved here in 1987, I got a kidney stone, and I didn't know what the hell it was. I was just in a lot of pain and thinking, I'm not having a baby. I've got the wrong anatomy, but I feel like I'm having one. Ended up at Davies, and they said, you have a kidney stone. It passed, and then they said, by the way, do you know you have HIV? And I was like, oh, by the way, I don't. But thank you for letting me know. Have a nice day. And luckily, I already belonged to Radiant Light Ministries, and I was surrounded by these wonderful metaphysical, spiritual, crazy people that would come in with like snakes wrapped around their head. My friend Juan was a snake dancer. People dressed in wedding dresses, lesbians, gay, young, old. Gay people with kids were coming in, like 500 people, like disco dancing and learning about New Age metaphysics and spirituality. So when I found out I was positive, I already knew people who were positive that were a demonstration of healing themselves of any illness with their thoughts and their intentions. So when I contracted HIV, I went into fear, but I had those people already around me, and I told myself, in every epidemic, there are the people who survive the epidemic. Now, who were those people that were the transitional people that had the disease, that lived through it, and how did that happen? And I thought, well, I've been taught that the words I am are the most powerful words in the English language, because when you say I am, you're claiming that which you want to be. And in that moment, you're making a commitment, you're going to move forward with something and create something. So I said, I am willing to be the first person to survive HIV disease if I need to be. I don't choose to be, but if I need to be, I will be, because I'm a demonstration of these principles that I'm learning. And, you know, I'm not better than anybody else, but I've watched at least 500 of my friends die, and I know a lot of you in the room have done the same thing. Living here in San Francisco in the 80s and 90s was one of the most challenging yet beautiful periods you could experience in life.
Yes, Gary.
And if you are here you're still here, you're a champion. Karen Williams, thank you. Karen Williams, the comedian who performed earlier, I only met her a couple weeks ago. December 30th, she was on a radio show we broadcast from Cafe Fleur for the Bay Times. And she was so funny and so cute, and I was like, la la la, fun black lesbian. And then all of a sudden I talked to her and she said, do you know that Margaret Gomez and I used to do fundraisers for people with AIDS at the beginning of the epidemic. We would go into Josie's Cabaret Juice Joint, and we knew somebody personally who was in the hospital dying, and we would go in, and she said the club could raise $1,500 with just stolies down, but the drinks are going. No one's hurt.
Stolies are still being Keep it pouring.
She said, but we could, if there was a comedian there, we could raise $3,000. So they would perform just down the street here. They would take that money that night to the hospital and hand it to the person to pay their medical bills. And she said, so often we gave them money 1 week, and 2 weeks later they were being buried. And she said it happened over and over and over again. And I never even knew Karen Williams. And I know Marga, but I just thought there's so many champions in our community who stood up and held the hand of somebody dying when nobody would even touch them. Nurses refused to serve people with HIV. And we've come so far. And Patrick was representing Richmond Airman AIDS Foundation. He's on the board, Patrick Gallino. And he was interviewed on the radio show, and Karen said, I want to go to that event at Trigger, that sounds great. And I said, would you consider performing? And she said, hell yeah. And I think, isn't this ironic that at the beginning of the epidemic, this woman was taking money to the hospital, and here we are, a demonstration for healing yourself of any illness, creating the best year of her life. And she graced this stage looking fierce and delivered a great comedy routine. And this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to attract the people with the mindset, the performers, the DJs, the singers you're going to see later, the violinist. Everybody here is here because we're vibrating at a very high level in San Francisco. This is a vortex of energy in San Francisco. And when you stand forth and you claim your power and you vibrate at a high level and you go for your personal joy, you cannot help but affect the people around you and bring them up. And I used to think if you worked hard, if you struggled, you know, Jesus came first and others came second and your ass came last, and you were doing good, right? And you had to enter to the pearly gates. I've learned at age 51, it's just the opposite. Make your happy ass self, make yourself happy first. Because then you're in your alignment, and there's no right or wrong. It could be that you're a waiter at a restaurant and you do it with joy. It could be that you're like Chip Conley with a hotel chain and you're teaching emotional balance in the workplace, you know. It's whatever you do. But I'm just here to tell you just a little bit, some of my biggest miracles that taught me the law of attraction. We're all vibration. You're hearing me because of vibration hitting your ears. You're seeing me because of vibration coming through your eyes. Hopefully if you're hot and you're single, you're touching me because you've got sensors. But it's all sensory, it's all vibration, and thoughts are the same way. When you claim something, your thoughts go out. And one of the coolest examples, my friend Dina Dawn, who couldn't be here today, some of you know her. Years ago, she's my good fag hag buddy, and we lost something, and she said, I believe in positive magic. And I said, well, good for you, find my damn keys. And she's like, here's what you do. All you have to do is say 3 times, nothing in this world is ever lost. Nothing in this world is ever lost. Nothing in this world is ever lost. And she said, that's the magic spell, and you will find your misplaced item. And I thought, okay, like, I'll try that. And then I thought, I'm really reality. Like, give me the real deal. I'm thinking, what's happening when I'm saying this? And I kind of added in that what I learned is nothing, if you're on the planet Earth and it's spinning, your keys are somewhere. They're really not lost. They're just further away from you than you want them to be, no matter what you've lost. So I thought I can take that information in that way. But what I found out later is that it's not magic. It's the law of attraction and it's energy. And what I added to that, and I share this with everybody, and it's, if you leave here with nothing else today except a good buzz from Stoli, I would say you will never lose anything again in your life if you practice this little secret. And that is that when you say, nothing in this world is ever lost, there's a spirit entity called Abraham that channels information through a woman named Esther Hicks. There's tons of free videos on every subject that you can think of on YouTube. I'm listening to it when I go to bed and when I wake up every day. It's profound information. It's Abraham Hicks on YouTube. When you can focus on something for 17 seconds of pure thought, it's like 20,000 hours of hard work in the physical world. Your mind has that much power. So what's happening when you're saying nothing in this world is ever lost, your intention is to reconnect with that item. So what I do is when I'm thinking I lost something, I say, nothing in this world is ever lost. And I picture the item. Nothing in the world is ever lost. And I picture that item. And then I say it again. Nothing in this world is ever lost. And I really like visualize that lost item, and then I go right into finding it in my mind. Say, oh my God, there's my keys! Oh my God, I'm so happy! Oh my God, now I don't have to call that person, da, 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 da. And when you feel like, my God, I found it! I found it! My wallet, it was lost and I found it. If you can just like ride that energy and then just go, I'm so grateful to have found my lost item, whatever it is, and then let it go. Be willing to have it and not have it. And I swear to God, a signal goes out with that vibration of that thing, and all of a sudden your item starts going bloop, 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 bloop. It's like a damn radar. So all of a sudden your intuition will be like, you know what, I think I put these pants on last night, I took them off in the bathroom, and then you're like, no, they're not there, and you're like, oh, okay, whatever, get something to drink, and you're like, you know what, I wonder if I lost something in the car. You get down in the car, and then all of a sudden, boom, you find the item. And then all of a sudden you find yourself having the same rush of emotions of gratitude and joy of finding the item. I've done this. I even lost my BMW out of my garage, got stolen around Christmas. And I did that spell, and I thought, okay, universe, if this really works, bring that car back to me. Well, it took 3 days. Even BMW Assist couldn't find it. The police couldn't find it. I found it myself by tracking the VIN number. The asshole who stole it out of my garage parked it in a no parking zone in North Beach.
Shut up.
I mean, the signal went off and it was in the garage. The police went to it, but they couldn't get in the garage, so they said, we give up. And the BMW thought it was found, so they gave up. So nobody was looking for my car. It could have sat in the lot for 30 days at the pound. But my intuition was like, look on Craigslist, try to match the VIN number, call that thing. I even found a damn car.
Shut up.
You know, and I'm telling you, I found, people have lost rings at Cafe Floor where I work, and I'm like, what's it look like? Silver with turquoise. What size is it? 8. Okay, did you look? They're everywhere. Flashlights on the ground, They gave up. They walked out the front door, and I said, nothing in this world is ever lost. 3 times I pictured a silver ring with turquoise. And I just stood there in the midst of all that craziness at Cafe Floor, and I just went, I'm going to find the ring. The ring is here. I can feel the energy of the ring. And I got the flashlight, I got on my hands and knees, and I'm feeling down in the cruddy crevices of the floor behind those crazy benches. It was like, something like grease, gross, blah, blah, blah. I reached behind a 2x4, and there's like a half-inch drop that was cut out on the floor, and I reached down in there, and there's the fucking ring. And I ran down the stairs, and I found your ring, I found it. And they're like, where the hell did you find it? I said, right where you were sitting. It fell and twirled and went around a 2x4 and fell into the old French fries and grease from 1973. And they were so excited. But that's my story. I have found so many things. And it's not just finding a lost item. It's attracting what you want in your life. Whether, you know, this world will have us think that you have to look a certain way. I mean, the society, you're not worthy unless you have A, B, C, D, E. I look at those poor people in Los Angeles. All those women are getting their tits and their lips plumped up. All the people have their teeth are so fucking white, they're like x-rays shining at you. They're all just wanting to be loved unconditionally. And society tells you that you're not worthy and you're not good enough unless you drive this car, you have this look, you have this body, you have that. I'm telling you, that's all bullshit. When you go to a bear weekend and you see guys that are 300 and 400 pounds and they're holding hands on a bear weekend or a cruise, they're not letting their bodies stop them. Some of the perceived hottest guys you see in San Francisco, they're single because they don't think they look good enough. They don't love themselves unconditionally from within to attract a partner who loves them because they don't love themselves. So, you know, I just think that this law of attraction, it's not bullshit, it's not magic. One last story, you know, being here for 23 years with HIV with an undetectable viral load, to me is demonstration that I am going to be the first person. Well, there's more than me. Yes. But that's like my biggest miracle about the power of intention. Yes. And another one, just quickly, was I was supposed to go to Southern Decadence in New Orleans, this big gay Mardi Gras weekend, for the first time ever, like around 2004. Bought my ticket. My buddy Don Ho is here today. He's one of the hosts of the party. I was a 38 Gary bus driver for 1,000,000 years and does anger management as a result of that. He and I had our tickets to go to New Orleans. We're like, woo-hoo! Well, son of a bitch, that goddamn thing, are like, oh, there's a storm coming through, there might be a hurricane, blah, blah, blah. How are like, fuck the hurricane, we're going no matter what. Well, then it's like, the shit hit the fan, and that storm came through, and we're watching TV, we're calling each other, we're texting each other, it's like, it doesn't look good, we're like, well, let's hang in there, let's go. No, they're like, shut down the city, the levees broke, the city's flooded, they're not letting anybody in, and we even thought about going to help. And then they were like, nobody's allowed in the whole city. And then we just said, okay, we're not going, and we watched the news. And I got to tell you that when you watch images of people standing on the roof, like here's the roof line, and there's the water, and they're waving a bed sheet saying, help us. Like, help us. And you see that, and then you watch our government with George Bush managing the disaster. And you see like people dying, people in hospitals, you see the Superdome just jam-packed with people with, you know, toilets, water, blankets. I mean, that was like one of the worst American disasters in my lifetime that I've seen. And sometimes you feel overwhelmed by stuff. It's like, it's so damn big. Like, what can I as one person do? But my friend Mark Palladini, who's a member of our Mardi Gras club, Crew de King, I think he had said, like, let's do something to try to help. And two of our club members are from New Orleans. They called their family and said, who's helping? And they said, the only people helping with anything is the American Red Cross giving out blankets and water. We're like, well, let's raise money for it, because you need blankets, you need water. So we put together an event at the Edge Bar. We partnered with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, Sister Patent Leather, and Evolution are here today. Thank you for looking beautiful. Those sisters teamed up with Crew de King, and we put the money through the Rainbow World Fund, so the world would know that it was LGBT and LGBT-friendly allies raising that money. We did a benefit at the Edge 5 days after the levees broke, and the night before we did it, I sent out an email to everybody. We had like Ethel Merman performing, and Dina Dawn, all kinds of people come out of the woodwork to help. We plastered front page pictures of Katrina all around the outside windows of the Edge. And the night before, I thought, I used to work in university development, and I know how important it is to have a goal to work towards. So I thought, what can we raise? And what do we usually raise at the Edge? Like $500 for a beer bus and raffle, maybe $1,000 on a good day. I think the most ever was like $2,500 at a basket contest because the guy Fitz Fleming wrote a check. But that night, I thought, they need money, they need help. $500 isn't going to buy a lot of water. And I said, we're raising $10,000. And I took a breath and I typed it and I looked at it and I really felt heavy in my chest. I just thought, you don't want to set people up for a false goal. But I sent the email and it hit send and I just like, and I just thought, I am open to us raising $10,000. I studied the Course in Miracles, and it says there's no degree of difficulty in a miracle. As much as you can say, I would envisioning a glass of water, as I can lose 30 pounds, as I can find a better roommate, as I can heal a relationship with my mother, or I can get rid of this badass job. It doesn't matter. It's the same principle. You focus on it, you run the energy and emotions of it, you envision it, you use affirmations, a picture board, you stick with it steadfastly and you commit to the goal until you see it in front of you and you don't stop. That day, we were like 4 hours into an 8-hour event and I ran upstairs and 2 people were upstairs counting the money. The sisters were out there with buckets on 18th and Collingwood. People are rolling down their windows, throwing money in the buckets, money's coming, tips to the performers. Dina Dawn's pulling shit out of her 38 Double D rack. Everybody's helping, we're in a good mood. And I ran upstairs and I said, you guys, how are we doing? Are we anywhere near $10,000 yet? And I was just like, oh my God, are we like at 2 or 3 or I hope, whatever. And ironically, the 2 people counting the money was Stephen Rao, who's now Empress Sabine. He's from New Orleans, family from the 9th Ward, and his partner now, Frankie, was counting the money with him, and Frankie's the current emperor of the Imperial Court. And they're up there counting this like, little edge thing, and they're like, and I said, are we anywhere near the 10,000? And I remember Frankie and Stephen, they're like, girl, we're already at 12,500, we got more to count. Woohoo! And I was like, oh my fucking God, we hit the $10,000! And it was just amazing that we have 4 hours to go. When all was said and done, the Rainbow World Fund wrote a check for $18,500 for an 8-hour benefit. And it was 5 days after the levees broke. I thought, George Bush, that's a mission accomplished. That is a mission accomplished. So, it's so odd how the universe works. Activist Tommy Abakoli-Mecca and Michael Petrellis called me 2 years ago and said, have you seen the news? There's like gay people being tortured, like mutilated and tortured in Iraq. And we need to do something. I'm thinking, what the hell are we going to do? Like, that war is so convoluted with weapons and money and politics. And they're like, well, they showed me pictures. And it moved me. And I just thought, when you're moved by compassion, don't disempower yourself as one person. Those guys were all about take a picture, post on the internet, mobilize. I'm like, who's actually helping on the ground? Well, a short story, we did an action on Castro Street, and within 2 weeks, the White House at a press conference was addressing the issue of gay torture in Iraq. Mark Leno, state assemblyman, had our state assembly send a letter to Hillary Clinton and Obama to address it. We mobilized again with Rainbow World Fund. We sent $10,000 to Halem, an organization for gays in Lebanon that was helping people get the hell out of Iraq that were gay identified. And we found one place in the world that was actually doing something to help those people, and our community raised $10,000 within like 60 days. And I only share this with you because it's your year. And I don't care what you brought with your mindset today. Anything you want to do. Betty Sullivan took over the Bay Times. Her beautiful partner's here with her today. Thank you for being a sponsor. She has a dream to make the Bay Times rock and roll and partner with the community. And I think I know everybody in here. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I want you to dream big and know that anything you want to achieve this year, turn off the news and turn on your mind. Focus on it, dream big, something you always wanted to do, if it was a trip or change your body, a relationship, anything's possible. And to demonstrate that for you is we have 3 aspiring musicians, actually 4. The acts that we picked for you to experience today, all these musicians just released new music videos that are fabulous. It's B.B. Sweetbriar, Raquella, and Love Marks, which is Gypsy Love and Kitty Marks, and Drum Spider's part of that as well. So I just say stick around and enjoy the experience. It's not about the numbers, it's about the expansion of joy. So I'm so thankful for all of you. I wish you the best year of your life, and I expect it to happen for you. And to get that going, let's play our happy jingle, and I'm going to clear the stage for some exciting entertainment. Thank you all.